Oh, welcome, my homies. We are here on the Wild Card Sports Podcast. It is episode 3. That is right, Epi 3. We are diving into week 2 of our current productions. I'm your host, Evan Pals. Co-host, Carter Forney. Let me hear you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Riss.
That's me.
Let's do it. We have NFL Week 1 in the books. Crazy week of football and on and off the field. We've had a tie in week 1. That's also crazy. But so much news to get into. And you know who's our lead man today, as always? Antonio Brown. Last time we talked, we were talking about how, still on the Raiders, talking about how we thought he was gonna get suspended. Well, he gets cut by the Raiders. Oh, no, let's back it up even a step further. They say he's gonna play against the Broncos in week 1, which was kind of interesting. Then the next morning, he gets cut. He's super excited about that. And then, 6 hours later, the Patriots and Antonio Brown are going to agree on a deal. And I'm eating at Texas Roadhouse, a nice prime rib. And I'm like, what is that on the news? Crazy stuff to hear. Riss, you're Antonio Brown. Well, not fan. What, fan?
Used to be.
Used to be a fan.
Previous fan.
Previous fan, because he was on the Steelers, of course. But Steelers, your team. Let's hear what you have to think about this.
Well, Antonio Brown, getting cut and then getting signed immediately, basically, $9 million, I think, for a year, I think, is the deal. Patriots just have a great offense already after that showcase against the Steelers. That
Amazing.
was just pitiful by the Steelers. Absolutely, they got demolished. They got just railed.
Yep, we'll talk about that in a
every
second.
which way. But Antonio Brown, with these sexual attack allegations, it's pretty interesting that it just came up after he just
signed a deal.
Signed a deal. I'm not saying it's false, but I think it's false. But 10 years later, she's just coming out right as this happens, right as this drops. She's coming out saying this. But Antonio Brown, he loves it. He loves all his coverage. Maybe, probably.
It's like
He can't stay out of the news.
He can't stay out of the news. It's been an emotional roller coaster for me, just as a fan. What does it have to be like for him? This dude is going through so much in the past, a couple months, but a lot in the last week or two.
I don't think we've ever seen as toxic as a player as Antonio Brown.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Cut by 2 teams in one off season.
Absolutely crazy. He goes off the Steelers, off the Raiders. Well, now he's on a Super Bowl contending team who, after Sunday night, they look good.
They look good.
It hurts me to say that after I took the Steelers in the Super Bowl predictions that we did, and that
Steelers offense is looking pretty bad.
Yeah,
Can't get anything going.
How did Juju do?
Yeah, I think he had about 6 catches for 80 yards or something.
Oh, that's all right.
That's all right.
But he
Was it
had
garbage
a 30-yard catch in the last 6 minutes when they were losing.
Oh man, yeah. I not gonna lie, I took a nap in the second half of that game because it was brutal.
Pitiful.
Tom Brady and those Patriots, they just knew what they were doing. They looked like real men out there. And Pittsburgh dropped a lot of balls. Pittsburgh dropped way too many passes, I thought. But I just popped my hip. Tom Brady, who also didn't pop his hip in about 3 months, they were getting the run game early, and then I noticed second quarter, beginning of third quarter, they would bring Devlin the fullback in, and they would just do hard play action. And those linebackers, Devin Bush, who's still amazing, just got taken advantage of in week 1. They were just biting. They were up on the D line, and then they're just throwing right behind into Edelman and all that good stuff. So Patriots easily take this game 33-3. They looked really good, as I said.
Dorsett
looked really good. Josh Gordon.
Oh
man! And now they're adding Antonio Brown. Maybe. Well, he's on the team, but we'll see how
we might see the first ever 16-0 Super Bowl winning team here.
1972 Miami Dolphins.
Well, that wasn't.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Dolphins.
They
We'll get
played
to
one
them
less
too.
game in the regular season, so.
All right. That's fair. Only team ever to still do it though. And by the way, the Patriots will be 1-1 next week as they're playing the Miami Dolphins, and the Dolphins I think are going to come out and smack them in the mouth.
As we have seen multiple reporters say, multiple players requesting from their agents to be traded.
That
In the
is
absolutely
probably
despicable
true.
organization
That is
that
probably
is
true.
the Miami
That is a true fact. We did see multiple players wanting out of Miami.
That's probably true.
But before we move on to Miami, Steelers. Are they still? You think they're gonna still be a front runner in the AFC North? Browns stumbled too, but Ravens look good even though they're playing, Miami.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that the Ravens are really that good.
No.
Lamar Jackson. I mean, how do you let a running back who's playing quarterback have a perfect passer rating?
He was good.
But it was okay. But no, I think the Steelers are still going to take the AFC North.
Do you think it's going to humble them up?
I think they're going to have to get down back to their grind, back to the root of things, and find who they are and identify what they are. I think they're going to come back next week strong against the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, they're playing Seahawks at home.
At home.
So they don't have to go to CenturyLink. That's always a tough place to play.
It's very tough to play.
Well, all right, so now let's move into some other Week 1 games. Let's talk about this Dolphins foe. Come on now, 59-10. That just doesn't happen in the NFL. Before you chomping on some whatever you're chomping on right there, some chicken and a biscuit. We're gonna say bye to Riss. He's got to head out early today. We'll be seeing you, Riss.
Yeah, I got to drive someone home who has a mold problem.
Yeah, a little bit of moldy action, like Antonio Brown. Alright, so Fo's going to be able to hop into a seat now. We're in a very small room, and we have 5 people in it. Our production studio people. No, they're not actually real. So, Fo, let's talk Dolphins here.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah.
59 points.
The Dolphins really, the Ravens came out and smacked the Dolphins in the mouth, and they just really did not let up. It just looked, honestly, too easy for the Ravens. Like, this was, during practice or something. Like, it wasn't even a game. It was, I could snap my fingers, and it was already 21-0. Dolphins were getting destroyed. And the defensive line and offensive line just look awful. And our secondary doesn't look good either. And our offense does not look good. So really, we are just struggling.
Yeah.
But that's. I mean, there's only one game this season, but it's looking like that. We play the Patriots next week, so it'll be even worse.
In Miami?
Actually, it might be in Miami.
I think it is at home.
I think it is so maybe it won't be as worse. But we also played the Ravens at home and lost by 50.
Yeah, I really think it's just going to be a little tough sledding for Miami, and we talked about it before on the pod in previous episodes that Dolphins were going to have it tough in the first 4 weeks. I said they were facing 4 good defenses. Ravens were one of them, and they're playing tough defense, but when your offense is not going to be able to score 59 points, and your defense should be giving up 59 points. So it doesn't surprise me to hear all these players that want out of Miami because they believe the team is tanking. Don't know if we can say that after week 1, but we'll be able to find out in the next coming weeks because they have the Patriots on the schedule. I think Chargers maybe as well. I don't know. So, okay, we'll move on from that. We'll just take out our 3 top teams that we like to watch. I'll go over to Dallas. They put a pretty swift whooping on New York. They didn't score 59 like Baltimore did. But I think it was the final score of that one, 35-10, 35-14. Let me check it. I should have been more prepared.
35-14?
35-17, sorry. Not giving the Giants enough credit. Man, Dak was good. Dak was really good.
Yeah, he did look really
Perfect
nice.
passer rating, 4 touchdowns, over 400 yards through the air. Man is proving he wants a new contract, and he really deserved it after this game. It's only been 1 game, but he really did look good. They brought everyone in. Jason Witten comes back out of retirement. He gets a touchdown. Randall Cobb gets a touchdown. He looked awesome for Dallas. Amari Cooper looked good. Michael Gallup had the 3rd most receiving yards out of anyone in the league this week. So we had, and did I say Zeke? Zeke was good. Zeke was decent. They didn't really use him too much because they just want to lean him back into it. But overall, Dallas looked good. A little bit slow out of gates, I'd say, for the defense, but then once they give up that touchdown in the beginning, they really formed back together. And they looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I have them climbing up in the Pop's Top 10, which we're going to get to a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
So we also had a tie. Lions and Cardinals. I watched probably like the last 8 minutes of that. Kyler Murray, not too good in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
They fell pretty far behind. I think it was like 20-some to 6, something like that. Well, he brought them right back, though.
Yeah, he
and
did.
a couple key passes. Like, they were beauties. I saw one deep down the sideline to Larry Fitzgerald, which was also an amazing catch. Set him up. Got him to OT, but just couldn't get the job done. But, a tie is technically better than a loss.
True.
Kyler was decent. Got to talk about it because he's number 1 overall pick. He was decent. I think he just had to warm up into it, and he's going to get better. Not really much to say about this game, honestly, because, Lions, Cardinals. But
True.
just looking to see what Kyler can do. Kyler can do in the upcoming games. See if Cardinals can be any threats. Maybe knock off some teams like Rams, Seahawks. What's some other good game? Let's go to I would say the best game of the week, Monday night. We were texting back a little. Yeah. We were texting back and forth a little bit at the end of that game between Texans and Saints. Saints end up on top, 30-28, which definitely was the best game. Nice little birthday treat for me.
There you go, Pop.
Little Monday night football double header.
Yes.
Deshaun. If the Texans had an offensive line, they were the better team, I thought, in this game by, like, in between minimal and significant margin.
Yeah.
Because we're still talking about Drew Brees and the Saints here. It wasn't a runaway game by any means.
No.
Texans had the lead, like, the whole game, though. They looked good.
Yeah.
And then we have 3 scores in the last minute. In the last 50 seconds, actually. Because Saints got a field goal to make it 27-21.
Yeah.
Then Texans get that touchdown, then or running in, whatever. I think they call it roughing the kicker on the field goal. They call it roughing.
Because running would have only been 5 yards.
Yeah.
And roughing,
So
that was questionable.
Crazy last minutes.
Yeah. That was kind of a questionable call.
It was questionable call. Saints, they've had a lot of calls go against them, so they weren't happy. It was so funny, though, to see everyone wearing those referee costumes, like, in the stands. Like,
oh, yeah.
There were definitely more ref jerseys than there were, like, Drew Brees or any other Saints player. It was just hilarious. But, man, I like the Texans. They looked good. Deshaun looked good.
Yeah.
That's that's my AFC team I really like. The NFC team I really like. Falcons, they didn't do too hot.
Yeah.
But Texans looked good. Deshaun got sacked like 7 times, though. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You get Laramie Tunsil. Just get your act together. You have one of, like, honestly, maybe, like, border top 10 quarterback in Deshaun Watson. This guy is good. You got to protect him. This team can go to the promised land. So, Saints win on some pretty, pretty soft coverage.
Yeah.
Like what the Texans I just saw this morning. I don't know if it was the cornerback that was covering him. They just cut someone this morning.
Okay.
After that loss.
Yeah.
But you got to play tighter there at the end. Make Drew Brees make a good throw down the field and see if they make a catch. Not that soft coverage, because Will Lutz is one of the top kickers in the league. He's going to nail, what was it, like 56, 58-yarder, however much.
58, I think.
Yeah, like inside, you're the home team. The crowd's going to be quiet. Like inside, dome, you're going to make that easy money. He so much to spare. Like he had at least 5 yards on that one still.
Yeah.
So Texans lose in not a stunner, but they thought they had that. And what's his name from the Kenny Stills got that touchdown at the end. Oh man,
he was good.
Yeah,
at least from what I was watching, he did pretty well.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe they played that soft coverage.
Yeah. I know. They just let him right into it.
So let me think here. I could have came a little bit more prepared for the podcast. Let's see some other games here. Chargers-Colts. Chargers win in OT against the Colts. They were able to overcome the non-existence of the field of Derwin James and Melvin Gordon to win in OT against the Jacoby Brissett Colts,
Mm-hmm.
who Riss is really on. So, actually, I didn't get to see too much of this game. I just saw the ends.
Mhm.
Chargers were good, but can we trust them?
Mm-hmm.
The question is, can we just trust them in the future? In the future games without these key players, that is to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Just scanning these other games. Oh, we gotta talk about Browns.
Oh yeah.
I almost forgot about Browns.
Yeah, there you go.
Hold on here. I got something popping up on the computer. It's my fault.
Okay.
OBJ wearing that $30,000 watch, just causing more noise, which the Browns don't. They just don't need. They have a lot of egos on that team already.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to stay out of. They just have to stay out of that light. They just have to get grinding as a team. Like that game was close.
Oh yeah.
Through like first 2.5, almost 3 quarters, and then they lose by 30 to the Titans, who don't even score a lot.
Yeah. Mariota kind of did go off though.
Mariota had a good day.
Yeah.
Baker had the opposite. He had 3 interceptions.
Yeah, I saw that.
And safety. He got sacked for a safety.
Dang.
Just not good for them. They really need to get it together because that was a poor showing.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like they just gave up.
That was
They just gave up.
Baker just couldn't get the offense going.
He couldn't get it going, and
He just had a bad day.
yeah, just a rough one altogether. Titans are a strong team though.
Mm-hmm.
Look for them later in the show if you know what I mean. Chiefs Jaguars. Chiefs win at 40-26. Nick Foles goes down with that broken clavicle. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
He's gonna have metal in his shoulder. I have metal in mine. So we're brothers now.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to see this for Nick Foles. He is such a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
He really is.
he's such a good dude.
Yeah.
You hate. This is a part of sports that you hate.
Mm-hmm.
He gets his chance to start with Jacksonville to prove that he should be a starting quarterback in the league when in the past he's not been really able to do that. Besides when he's coming from backup roles in Philly, that just seems like his place.
Mm-hmm.
But this stinks for them, so he's going to be on IR. He should be able to come back around week 11 or week 12, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he'll be ready to play by then, but he'll be off IR by then.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew from Washington State, though,
Yeah,
he looked pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
He only had like 2 or 3 incompletions, and he had like 25 attempts.
Dang.
So that was good for him. Maybe they got something going there. They pick up Josh Dobbs from the Steelers. He's going to be the backup. So Gardner's going to take over rookie quarterback.
Wow.
Let's see if that maybe that performance that he had, even though they lost the game, of course, it would have been tough to win against Kansas City. They stayed in it for the most part with Gardner. So let's see if he can get something going here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see about it.
We'll see. Also, Tyreek Hill gets injured. He has something going on with the clavicle. Not broken. It's like his joint where, like, in the shoulder area. I don't know what it's called. Not really a doctor by any means. He'll be out for a little bit of time, about 4 to 6 weeks, they're thinking. And Mahomes got beat up a little bit, but he should be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, also Deshaun Watson got beat up, too, in that game.
Yeah, he did.
He got hit pretty good.
Yeah.
He got rocked. You can't be letting him get hit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings really took control over Atlanta. Really wasn't expecting this. They put a stranglehold on Atlanta, but we're going to talk about I'm going to talk about how limited Kirk Cousins was in this game. They win 28-12, which actually this might be a good thing for the Vikings. He only was 8 of 10. Like he only threw 10 passes.
That's kind of crazy.
That's crazy. So that just shows you how like good those 8 completions were, and then how good the run game was, because that's just crazy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that he had a 1-yard QB sneak into the end zone as well.
Kirk Cousins did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bills come back. They scored 17 on the answer to beat the Jets.
Yes, I was a little surprised about that.
I was surprised too. I thought
they're both like pretty even, but I mean after the Jets started off, 16-0, I was like, I don't know if the Bills can come back and do it, but they did.
I know. Josh Allen leads them back. Sam and Le'Veon, they're going to have to wait for that first win together. They stumbled pretty much the whole game, even though they had a 16-0 lead. They just couldn't get anything going. They only got 1 touchdown on the day. Redskins and Eagles. Eagles come back 32-27, but the Redskins were up 17-0 at one point in that game. They have, out of their like top 4 receivers, they have 3 rookies or like 1 year into their careers dudes, and they have Paul Richardson from who came over from Seattle. He's the only veteran out of those 4, and they have a guy named McLaurin at receiver who he had a great day. So we have to see coming weeks for that. Case Keenum was pretty good.
Yeah, he was good.
Like he had the most yards in like the 1:00 games. So that was pretty impressive by him.
Yeah.
But Philly gets their act together at halftime. They were able to figure out that D line of Washington. That was really giving them fits in the first half, that D line. So they were able to figure that out, and they come back to win, scoring basically outscoring them 32-10 after that 17-point lead. And yeah, I think that's that's basically all we needed to cover for the most part. Raiders able to pick up that win though at home against Denver. They looked pretty good too for a lot of no-name dudes at receiver. I didn't even know who the heck they were throwing to, but Derek Carr had a great game. So did Josh Jacobs, rookie running back from Alabama. Joe Flacco did not look good.
I guess not. I didn't watch too much of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think Ravens made a good choice moving on to Lamar because he looked great, even though they're playing Dolphins. And going against the Raiders defense, you would think that Flacco would have had a better game, but just didn't have it in him. What do I have down here? Were there any other injuries? Or like, I don't think so. I think we talked about the good ones. Hopefully I don't forget. I just want to make sure we touched on Nick Foles because really hate to see that. Oh, excuse me again. Okay, so I want to talk about, we'll go back to last week's Epi 2 Pop's Gambling Corner. Good start. We were 4-1. So if anyone picked us in Vegas, you would have been a happy camper. We went 4-1. We were actually 6 seconds away from going 5-0 because we had Philly -10 over Washington, and they had hold on, let me look here. They had the 12-point lead. They were leading 32-10, or 32-20, and then they gave up a touchdown with 6 seconds to go. So we were going to go 5-0. So I feel pretty good. We went 4-1 week 1 of Gambling Corner. So we're going to have to look into these week 2 matchups. So we're going to get ready for Epi 4 later this week before week 2 of the NFL. So I felt really good about that. I just want to touch on that. So now, as we're 23 minutes in here, it's probably going to be a little bit of shorter episode here. Let's talk Thursday night. Getting into week 2, we're going to get a little bit of a, I guess you could say, our prediction. We have Buccaneers and Carolina, and I believe, one second here, that is in Carolina. Carolina coming off of a 30-27 loss against Los Angeles, where, you know, they stayed in it the whole game. Rams were a little sloppy. Panthers were a little sloppy. And the Rams were able to take advantage, win that game. Buccaneers, speaking of sloppy, let's talk about Buccaneers. Wow. Sloppy against 49ers in week 1. Jameis threw 2 picks. One was a pick 6. Jaboo, come on, man, with the crab legs. Come on, man. You're going to be stealing crab legs. You're going to be on the streets soon, Jaboo. Come on.
Come on, Jaboo.
Oh, man. Anywho, so we'll move into that one. That's going to kick off on NFL Network. Don't know if we're allowed to say that. 8:20 on Thursday night. Is that tomorrow? Today's Wednesday?
Yeah.
That's tomorrow night. Let's do it. I'll go first. I like Carolina in this one. Kind of curious to see how these Thursday night games are going to be. We have a couple good ones. We have a few good ones actually coming up later in the season. A little rivalry game. I do like Carolina to win. I think their front seven's nasty. Got a good D-line. Got Luke Kuechly. Those guys are just good. So really expect them to dominate the line of Tampa Bay. And I even saw something this morning about Bruce Arians really pumping up their second year running back. I forget his first name. Something Jones. Really expecting him to pick up the slack after a rough rookie year. He looked good in week 1. He was tearing off a couple long runs. But I just don't think it's going to be enough. Cam's going to figure out how to win. I see Tampa Bay going 0-2 before I see Carolina going 0-2. But it can go either way, but I'm going to take Carolina in this one. We're going to go 27-13. That is my prediction on that one. I didn't really go back and look at who picked what for week 1, but I'm going to have to go back and see what the standings are then. We'll get that up then.
Okay.
Fo, what do you see Thursday night? We have Tampa Bay going against Carolina. What do you see here?
I'm definitely going to have to choose Carolina on this one. I think they're the better team. I think they're more fundamentally sound, more talented. Cam Newton can definitely do some things, and I really think he's going to find a way to win this game.
Let's go. So we both are going to have Carolina. We're going to have to ask Chris what he thinks on this one. So we're both going to go with Carolina, and that's going to lead us to Pop's Top 10. We're doing Pop's Top 10 NFL teams heading into week 2. So we had week 1, had lots of different things. Basically had everything. High-scoring games, low-scoring games, a tie. So let's jump into Pop's Top 10. I just realized I forgot a team on here. Oh, man, a team that I wanted to put on. Okay, so we'll jump into it. We're going to have a tie at number 10. Number 10. All right, we got a tie. We're going with Chicago Bears and the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee looked really good against Cleveland in week 1. I know Cleveland had, their like emotions get the best of them. They end up scoring 43 points. But I like Tennessee. They're going to be my sleeper, tied top 10, maybe number 11 team in the league. So they're tied with the Bears. Bears didn't like their offense in week 1. Matt Nagy takes the fall for that, backs up Mitchell Trubisky. I like to see that. That's what kept them in this top 10. Defense looked good against Aaron Rodgers. They only had one good. Packers only had one good drive in that game, and for that to be the winner, really unfortunate for the Bears defense. They deserve better. So those teams tied at 10.
Okay.
Number 9. LA Rams. I had them at number 10 last week. They're going to move up only one spot. I thought they were sloppy, as I said, against Carolina, but they still got the job done against a pretty good front 7. So I like that. Todd Gurley didn't have to do too much for them to win the game. He didn't really play that much. Jared Goff coming off that new deal. He looked decent.
That's good.
I saw a couple throws that I don't know where the heck he was throwing them to, but overall he looked pretty good. And if you want to jump in at any time, you just go.
Okay.
Number 8. Pittsburgh. Oh, man. We have Pittsburgh at number 4 in week 1. They're going to drop 4 spots to number 8, and they could have went farther. Terrible performance in week 1. New England completely exposed them. Too many drop balls. Not really anything going on offense, as you can see from 3 points. And the defense just falling for it too much. New England looked way better than them, way ahead of the game. So Steelers at number 8. Number 7. Houston Texans. Texans going to stay right where I had them last week at number 7. I like them against the Saints, a top-tier team in the NFL. They looked pretty good, except that offensive line. I will say all 53 men minus 5, so let's do 40. All 48 men besides those 5 dudes look pretty good. You can't let your quarterback get sacked 7 times in a game. Like, that's just ridiculous. Deshaun needs help. He's injured last year because of these dudes. Come on, you bring in Laramie Tunsil, get the job done. You bring in Kenny Stills, he got the job done. So Laramie, pick up the slack.
Yeah. I do think that it will improve, though, their offensive line, just because Laramie, he's one of the bright young left tackles in the league here. And, it is only week 1, but...
only week 1.
We will see. But, yeah, I suspect that Laramie and his offensive line will get better.
It's only week 1, but we only have week 1 to judge, so that's why we have to be so harsh on 1 week of football, I'd say. Also, before I get back into my deep voice for Pop's Top 10, we'll talk... Laramie just came over as well. This dude's just joining this offense. I know left tackle, your responsibilities don't really change. You got to protect the quarterback. But, he's got to get adapted with these dudes. His left guard, his center, his counterparts,
It hasn't even been. It's not even been 2 weeks since he's on. So,
all right, we'll cut Larrabee a little bit of slack.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping Texans at number 7. I still like them. They look good.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, Baltimore. Had them at number 8 in week 1, 8 or 9, I can't remember. But they're up to number 6 this week. They look good against Miami. I know Miami's a poop show.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar looked good throwing the ball, he was making jokes in the post game conference.
Was he?
He was like, "Oh, not too bad for a running back." Thought that was funny because everyone thinks he's only wanting to run. He had a great day through the air.
Mm-hmm.
Defense was good because Dolphins only scored 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
Not really much else to say. They played Miami.
Mm-hmm. Fitzmagic did not show up today. Today it was Ryan Fitzpatrick, or Sunday it was Ryan Fitzpatrick, not Ryan Fitzmagic.
Oh, I love that. It's a sizzler on the Dolphins. I bet you can find them on Pop's rankings. Hashtag 30-second.
Yes.
Where
they belong.
Where they belong. Now moving to the top 5. Number 5, Eagles. It was tough for them in week 1. They barely pulled out a win. Their guys had big numbers like Deshaun Jackson, Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
We didn't really see any of Zach Ertz unless later in the game if he got hot because I didn't really see him much in the first half or the first 3 quarters really.
Yeah.
But they struggled, but they got it together in the second half and they were able to win the football game. That's all it takes in the NFL. You just got to win games. They get that win at the end against Washington. Washington's not a snub. I'm not going to call them a snub. They have good players, but the injury bug always gets them, and they're still waiting for Trent Williams to come back. Eagles at number 5. Let's see what they have next week. Sunday Night Football against Atlanta.
Okay.
Number 4, Dallas. Big jump for Dallas here. They're in the top 4. They looked excellent. Dak was great. Amari was great. Michael Gallup was great. Randall Cobb was great. Zeke had to do what he had to do. And defense got the job done. Everyone did their role. Oh, sorry, Jason Witten. Welcome back, buddy.
Yep.
Also had that touchdown. That was nice.
Clutch.
A little clutch TD right there. Thank you, Dallas. They're really like pumping them up. Like
They are.
all
are.
Dallas fans now. Like they're probably out here like, oh, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. Where's Skip Bayless at? Skip Bayless loves them Cowboys. But I like them right now. It's really a toss-up between them and the Eagles at the top, but it's only been 1 week. So let's head to the top 3. Number 3. Saints. Barely sneak away with a win on home turf. Expected a little bit better showing from Drew Brees in week 1, but once again, this is the National Football League. All you have to get is wins, and they got the dub. So Drew Brees gets that dub late in the game, figures out a way to get it done. Game-winning drive. Sean Payton puts it together, and they were just able to knock off Deshaun at the last second, literally. So Saints gonna stay number 3. Didn't necessarily like them so much, but they got the job done. That's all it takes. Number 2, Chiefs. Patty Mahomes looked great. Sammy Watkins, have a day, my brother. He had like 198 yards, something like that, 168. I don't know, something big like that.
He went off.
Dude went off, and that was in the first half.
Yeah.
Like, most of those numbers came in the first half.
That's crazy.
Tyreek Hill gets injured. They'll be able to keep going.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They got enough weapons.
They got plenty enough weapons to get the job done. Travis Kelce didn't have his best day, but can't always happen that way. Tyreek, I hope you get better, my brother. Besides that, defense still kind of struggled. You say they got kind of tore up by a rookie quarterback. If you want to play a little devil's advocate, even though Gardner was good, but just gotta get more from that defense. But when their offense putting up 40 points, that's gonna be able to get the job done most of the time. And out at the top of the list, number 1, don't even need to go deep voice. They like to do professional. It's the New England Patriots.
Yep.
Tom Brady, what a master. Just tore up Pittsburgh in week 1. They're going to win by 30 points against Pittsburgh. Probably double that against Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But they look good. As I said earlier, that they were pounding the ball early. They were able to run it. And then they switched to, like, I formation play action like it was 2003. They were just able to do so much. Dorsett, huge game.
Yeah, he went
Josh Gordon, good game. Julian Edelman, good game. You couldn't even name who the tight ends were, but they probably had a good game too. Everything just came together. All those moves to get that offensive line put together, like at the last second, in case injury happened, because they had the injury at the center position, which I thought was going to be bigger than it actually was. So, New England, you are on top of the throne heading into week 2. I think we might be seeing a lot of this for the season because if they play like that each week,
and with Antonio Brown.
With Antonio Brown coming in, oh man. The only thing for all NFL fans that aren't Patriots fans, you're just gonna have to hope, AB. Like, is the destruction of that?
Really,
is the destruction of that team?
It's true though.
But I think if New England's so well run, Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick. Yeah, if Antonio Brown says one thing wrong or does one thing that they don't like,
they'll shut him up.
They're gonna shut him up and they're gonna send him packing. They'd rather cut him and lose that money that they gave him guaranteed than cost them a chance of winning another Super Bowl because I don't know if anyone is gonna play with them if they played like that.
If they played against the Steelers without Antonio Brown, holding only the Steelers to 3 points?
3 points, yep.
And scoring 33 on the Steelers, and that was even with AB. If they have AB and they keep him under control, it's gonna be a slaughterhouse.
He's right.
Yep.
Just looking at my list here, Pop's top 10. I forgot I wanted the Bears in there. People are gonna be thinking, what about the Packers? They just beat the Bears. Fo was telling me that, and I say, they got to show me more. They got to show me more. Bears coming off as the NFC North champions. Packers aren't. So, not a good game by both sides. And for, everyone saw it because everyone was watching that game, of course, to open the season. Neither team really had it. So, Aaron, show me something. You're telling me you have a defense and all that. Show me you got an offense, brother. And I know, news reports saying he's buying into this offense and all that good stuff. Well, show me more than 10 points and you get on this list. They're going to be the first team missing. So technically, number 12, they would be on my rankings. I'm not going to go through all the teams. That's a little bit much. But we know where Miami falls.
32.
32. Almost 33.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And do we have anything else to talk about here, Fo? Man. You think Josh Rosen's coming anytime soon, or they're going to wait?
He did play at the end of the game.
He did play, but
it was garbage time.
Complete garbage time. It would have been second quarter and it was garbage time.
He did throw a pick too.
Oh, Josh.
But it's all good. I feel bad for both Ryan Fitzpatrick, being a veteran and having to deal with this borderline tanking season. Well, we're not trying to win, but it's not the Coach Flores, Chris Greer, Dolphins GM, and the owner Stephen Ross, they're all buying into this idea of not winning now and investing for a brighter future. And, I agree with that, but it's just, if we don't draft well, the Dolphins are going to be bad for the next, they're going to be this bad for 10 years from now, and they'll just never get better and they'll just always be awful.
It's just...
like the Browns, except the Browns, actually got good, because they drafted well. We think. Yeah, we think.
They won 7-8-1 last year after going 0-16 and 1-15, and they're 0-1 right now. So we can't really say too much yet.
Yeah. 15-1.
Executive producer Mav over here, Maverick, going 15-1. We're gonna have to put the doubt train on that for sure. You know what? We've only been talking football so far, and I really want to talk more than football. We're going to talk more than football, of course, once, hockey and basketball season come around. We're not baseball. None of us really follow that too much. Oh, wait! I got to call out Fo. Let's start with something else real quick. So, it's a little story time action. So, I'm over at the bank, Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Oh, man. So good. Got a great smoothie. Beach Bum with the dark chocolate. And I'm thinking, I'm there with Katie, my girlfriend. And I'm thinking, man, I just don't want to sit at home tonight. Like, I want to go do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, I know the Phillies are at home. Let's go see a Phillies game. Why not? And it's like 4:30 in the afternoon. So we got 2.5 hours to get there. And it's about 1:30 from here. So I was like, forget it, let's go. And call one of our friends. He's like, oh, absolutely. He lives like in between us and Philly. So he was all for it. So he had an easier trip than we did. And then I ring up Fo over here. And this dude goes on to tell me, we've been talking about going to a Phillies game like all year. Just see one game. And this dude tells me he's got to go to church basketball. So then,
So I already said yes like 15 minutes before.
so 15 minutes before, he says he accepted to go to church basketball. So like I get commitments, but then just be like, yo, Fo, come on, come on now. Things just tell him you're gonna go to a Phillies game, man. They're gonna definitely understand that. So he calls me back after talking to someone from the basketball league or whatever he wants to call it, and they said it was okay if he went to the Phillies game. So then I'm like, oh, we're in. And then Fo just continues to shoot me down and shoot me down. And what?
Yeah.
Oh man! So he ends up telling me no. So pretty hurt by that.
I'm sorry about that, Pop.
So then we make it to the game, and what do you know? Phillies hit 3 home runs in the first inning.
What?
So I'm like, oh, okay,
You're
Fo.
kidding me.
Okay, Fo. I see this. Suck it.
Little Harper action.
Oh, Harper hit one. Oh man, who hit? Corey Dickerson hit one, and Real Muto hit one. So
Yes, sir.
so I'm like, okay, this is already hilarious. So we're sitting there watching the game, got our chickies and Pete's.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah, gonna rub it in a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
And Sean Kingery, who's playing center field, bases loaded. Game is like Phillies are winning like 4-3. Dude makes an amazing diving catch out in the gap, saves like 3 runs. So the game's tied at that point because someone got home because dude laid out.
Yeah.
So it's tied, Sean comes up to bat. My man saw him in Reading when he was coming back from injury, Reading Phillies. Or Reading Fighting Phils, whatever they want to call themselves now. So Sean comes up, hits one straight away center field. It is a bomb. It is absolutely murked. And center fielder goes out. I think it was, I don't even know who's playing center field. Dude jumps. Looks like he catches the ball, but when he comes back in with it, he drops the ball on the ground.
Dang.
So he thought he caught it,
Wow.
but they ruled it as not a catch.
Mhm.
Sean Kingery, and Fo doesn't know what I'm about to say right here. Sean Kingery hits an inside the park home run.
What? That's
Yeah.
how the game ended.
Yeah.
What?
Well, that's not how the game ended.
Okay.
That was in the middle of the game. Sean Kingery hits
okay.
an inside the park home run, and Fo missed a three home runs, 3 separate home runs in the first inning by the Phillies, and then Sean Kingery inside the park home run he misses, and then the Phillies end up winning. We go home happy, and he's sitting at home probably doing some
Schoolwork.
some crappy math homework.
Webcam video, yeah.
Webkins. So I think Fo's kind of on the regret train.
I'm honestly, I'm thinking at this point, I'm like, fuck.
Oh man. Oh. I just got a message from ESPN. Antonio Brown's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, is that how you say his name? Says his client is taking the civil case against him seriously, and he's saying the allegations are false. Of course they're gonna say that, but I'm gonna go with the risk. I also think this is false.
Yeah,
why didn't this come out before?
Yeah. Why do you wait till now to say it?
Like,
It's all about timing.
It's all about time, and the people that normally put the allegations together. I'm not saying this one is 100% false, but in the past most of them have been. They just want money and attention, and I hope for Antonio's sake that this is false, and he'll be able to get past this for sure. So you missed Philly's game. Little I hate you about that.
Sorry about
No,
that,
I'm just
Paul.
kidding. No hard feelings.
I should
of
have
course.
planned that.
The ticket. We sat 20 rows up from home plate. Beautiful view of the park. $11.
What?
$11. Yep. See what happens when you miss out,
I went
folks?
with Cole one time. It was like $20.
Yeah.
What?
Yep. You missed out. Just
This
gonna
is an
say.
MLB game.
Yeah, it was like
Yep.
$22 on a Wednesday night with Cole. That last time I went, it's crazy.
Executive producer Mav kicking in right here. But yes, we got those tickets cheap because they weren't sold, so you were able to get cheap tickets because they're just trying to fill the stadium at that point. I paid more money at Chickies and Pete's than we did for our tickets.
That's unheard of.
That's unknown.
Unprecedented.
Like,
I'm impressed.
yeah. Come on.
Absolutely crazy.
That's amazing.
So let's shift. We'll still talk football, but let's talk a little college football here.
Third gear.
All right.
Fo, what time you got class?
125
Okay, so we got, where is it?
each.
Okay, we got like 8 minutes here. So, we're not going to make Fo late.
I'm going to leave at like 5.
All right, we'll make it 5 minutes. All right, so we're currently at a branch campus of Penn State, a little satellite campus as some people call it. So we like Penn State for sure. We've all grown up loving Penn State.
Mm-hmm. All went to Warwick High School.
Poopy pit.
All right.
Yeah.
So they roll over Idaho
Mm-hmm.
in week 1.
Oh, they destroyed.
They slip up a little bit against Buffalo, but they end up getting the
Second
job
half.
done in the second half.
They are a second half team.
So they're playing Pitt this week. This is the classic. They hate Pitt.
We hate Pitt so much.
Yeah.
We hate Pitt.
We
They
hate
hate
Pitt so
us.
much, yeah.
What do you think about this?
I
Yeah.
hate Pitt so much. We should clap their cheeks. That's what we
Let's
should
go.
do.
We better clap their cheeks.
Yeah.
I also like Penn State to win.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating. All 3 of their non-conference games are at home.
Okay, that's good.
So, I didn't get season tickets this year, but I plan on going to see Michigan. I think that's going to be a good game.
Mhm.
So I definitely want to get there for that because I hate Michigan.
Mhm.
Absolutely hate Michigan.
I kind of like Jim Harbaugh though.
Dude wears the same pair of khakis all day. In the bed,
true.
to bed, to shower, to brush his teeth.
Really?
No.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Yeah.
But also like LSU against
Mhm.
Texas. Did you see LSU Texas?
LSU ended up winning that game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I saw a little bit of it.
They have an actual offense now.
Okay.
Like they're not just all
Yeah.
defense. Their
Their
defense is pretty
quarterback's
good.
pretty good. Or no, wait, that's Texas. Never mind.
Furrow,
LSU's good.
I think it's either
Mhm.
Furrow or Burrow. I don't
Okay.
remember.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty good,
Yeah.
and they were able to pull it out against Sam Ellinger's Texas squad.
Yeah, Sam Ellinger's good. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really know where that was supposed to go. I just want to talk a little bit of college football, but in
Mhm.
the future, we're just talking NFL right now because
It's the start of the NFL season.
the start of the NFL season. It's
Um,
basically the only sport in swing.
Mhm.
And when in coming months, NHL I know starts October 2nd is opening night. I don't know what the NBA is. That's more of Riss and Fo's topic, and then my topic's gonna be more NHL when we get into that. So we can't wait to talk about that. Let me just end this. I haven't been saying it in the podcast, and I probably should be. If you guys like what you're hearing, drop a fat like, subscribe, tell your friends, your mom, your dad. If you're a woman, your husband, or if you're a man, your husband. But we're not gonna go that far.
Yep.
Spouse, significant other, grandparents, whoever likes sports,
Your brother.
your brother,
Mhm.
your sister, your dog, whoever likes to hear about sports, that's all we're gonna be talking about. So if we're talking sports, we want you guys to like, subscribe, leave your comments as well. What are we talking about that you like? What are we talking about you don't like? Should we add something new? Should we take something out?
Mhm.
Anything like that. We're trying to do these podcasts twice a week, but right now with school, it's been difficult, and we also have work outside of school and other commitments as well that I know Riss and Fo and myself are a part of. So we're just trying to get together, get these podcasts in for you guys. Might be a little bumpy sledding, but I think once the high school season ends, it might be a little bit easier because we might be able to do some at night.
Mhm.
So thank you
For
guys
sure.
so much. This has been Epi 3. That is right, episode 3 of the Wild Card Sports Podcast. With Evan Ballast, your host.
Mm.
Co-host Carter Forney, and long gone ago Isaac Rissinger.
Mm.
Who we'll see if he'll be back for this weekend's pod.
Mm.
We're gonna-
And our producer Maverick Henry.
Maverick Henry.
Yes, sir.
Tanner Heckle was in the house earlier. He
Mhm.
had to hit the road with Isaac
Yes, sir.
as well. So when we talk about episode 4, Epi Foe, that's your episode 5.
The faux face reveal
We're gonna
episode.
be-
Yes, sir. Also, shout out to Justin Minnick and Brian Heckman for just being potato chips.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Gotta love it. Gotta love
Yes,
those.
sir.
Gotta love those brothers
Yep,
as well.
yep.
Our artwork is on the way as well.
Okay,
That's
good.
the Penn State Brotherhood.
Yeah,
Yep,
we got professional working on the artwork right now, so hopefully get that on the channel soon. So thank you guys so much. EP4 is gonna be Sunday and Monday prediction video, and can't wait to bring that to you guys so much. So we're gonna be signing off there. Thank you guys. Have a good one.